ordinarily give our platform over to anybody else to voice their opinion. That's not what we've got to. That's not what we do. We've got opinion enough of our own to want to share with you. But just today, we are going to give it over. We're giving it over to a client of ours who has a story to tell, and we just want him to tell it in his words, and we just want him to share his experience and his pain, because we just think it's worth hearing. So, over to you.
Hi, just want to make this video ultimately, firstly, to thank everyone that has supported me and reached out to me once they've heard of my situation. I just want everyone to know I'm okay, I'm getting by. It's not great, but I'm okay, I'm getting by. Thank you for your support, thank you for reaching out. But ultimately, it is what it is. I am where I am. And I'm chipping away slowly and trying to fight the best I can. But the message is, look, thank you for your support. It just gives me hope, and hope is what's kept me going. So this is giving me more hope, just to see that there's decent, good people out there. There's good, caring, nice people out there, you know, who will reach out to you when you're in trouble. So it's good to know, because when you're going through something like this, externally no one can see what the person's going through inside. I mean, I've known many people going through something like this, and I never fully grasped or contemplated the absolute trauma that's going on inside their heart and their head. Now going through it myself, you know, the reality is a harsh reality. That's what it is, and it's very painful, and externally no one can fully understand ultimately. And there's many angles and factors to this whole situation. There's number one, being made homeless. Number two, not being able to work and not being financially independent. You know, considering you've been doing that your whole life, you've never had to really ask anyone for help or support, and to have to do that, is another factor. The separation from your children, and then ultimately the unknown factor of when you're actually going to see them. And as you go through the emotions, and you maybe realize that you may never see them again. You don't know. By the time you get contact, they may not want to see you, because parental alienation may have taken, you know, maybe in full control. So there's many factors and facets to this whole topic, really. And then, like I said, CMS as well, that's another whole new different angle. And when you combine all these factors and you realize the system, this is all of this stuff, like I said, is within the legal framework. If your ex-partner or your partner claims abuse, they get legal aid, whether it's verified or not, whether there's any evidence or not. And then the process starts. And this is a legal process from what I can see. This is all above board. This process is designed to destroy an individual, in this case myself, in every single way possible. And the only way I can describe the emotion is, again, I've heard the saying, you are pressed, you feel your chest and your shoulders feel physically heavy. You feel like the earth, the universe is compressing you. It is out against you. I mean, like I said, I have been violated. Like I said, I've watched on CCTV my house getting robbed while the police stood by and watched, while my children's belongings and my belongings were removed. My property was removed from my house under the banner of the police just assisting my ex to remove few bits of clothing, apparently. But I've watched that. Now, for those who haven't gone through something like that, to watch people going in and out your house, 10 strangers going in and out your house, lugging your gear out and equipment out, going for every part of your house, I can only explain how violating that feels. You are violated in every way. So this whole process has violated me in every single way that one can imagine. Mentally, emotionally, physically, I feel violated. That's the only way I can put it. And none of this actually even covers the element of losing contact with your children. That is a whole different side of pain. So I'm going to cover all the topics one by one, and my experience of it all, and what I've gone through, how I've dealt with it, and the fact that I've survived these last 6 months. And, you know, all I can say is thank God that I'm still standing, I'm still alive, and, you know, I'm still fighting. That's the main thing. And this is my point. Going to work, functioning, socializing, doing day-to-day things that you need to do in life, not my priority. And this is the reality, and this is the point I'm trying to make. You know, I wake up, it's like I'm wandering through this desert. There's miles and miles and miles of desert in front of me. I wake up, I just have to get up and be able to walk that day. That's it. Just walk for as long as I can and hope that I will see civilization one day. I will see water and food and civilization, some shelter. And I just have to battle through this heat and survive till the evening until you sit down and lay down. Now the problem is, if you lay down or stop during the day, there's an element of you may not get back up. So if you just worry about the next step in front of you. Don't worry about the end goal, where you're evening until you sit down and lay down. Now the problem is, if you lay down or stop during the day, there's an element of you may not get back up. So if you just worry about the next step in front of you. Don't worry about the end goal, where you're going to end up, how you're going to end up. I don't know. I honestly don't know how or when or how this is going to end up. But the point is, I just keep walking for that day, for that hour. Just get up that morning, get on your feet that morning, keep walking. That is one way of describing it. I feel like just a wanderer in the desert. I have no objective, I have no life. My job is to just get up and survive. It's as simple as. And why do I need to survive? You could ultimately ask, if you've lost everything, you've got no finances left, 24 years of work gone down the pan, you've lost your home, you've lost your children, and the system, you got to understand the acknowledgement that the family court system, or the laws and processes in this country, have legally allowed this to happen. They have assisted in this happening. I believe my ex was advised into doing all of this by her solicitors, by the legal aid people, by the group that she went to for support, her friend circle. So this is the society that your eyes open to, and unfortunately you can't see this clearly until you're here. Now, the other way I can describe it is, sometimes I just think you're stuck in this ditch. There is dirt coming in. You're trying to just fight and climb and stay on top of the dirt so it doesn't cave you in. And the only way I can describe it, again, like the desert, you're in this ditch. At some point you think, if I stop fighting the dirt, it is just going to take over. It's going to compress your body, your chest, your face, and eventually you'll stop breathing. So there's a little bit of natural human instinct to just fight. How hard and strongly you can fight, it depends on your individual personality, but I can fully understand why a lot of, unfortunately, men are lost when they get to this stage. They end up in drink, drugs, gambling, and in the more extreme cases, suicide. And if you're hung out by the family courts in the manner that I've been hung out to dry, literally, I think it's a miracle that I'm still alive. I think, thank God that I am still alive and I'm battling, and I've got support around me. I've got friends and family who've reached out and provided some emotional support. But so I want to thank all of those people again, everyone that's reached out. But it is very difficult. 6 months on, the fact is this: it's taken 6 months to be able to process these emotions and feelings and just talk about them. If you ask, I keep thinking I should have started making this diary, this log, these videos 2-3 months ago, but you're not in a mental state where you can focus into doing anything. Even today, once I made a video earlier today about my children. Again, I very nearly didn't. I've been planning to do that for weeks and weeks and weeks, but you wake up, if you're feeling down, you're missing your children, you get into that cycle of thought, well, what's the point? Like, what does it matter? Who cares? Let me just sit here, just drive around, wander around, and just do nothing and just try and forget for the moment. I mean, you get into that cycle of thought. I mean, it's very difficult. But today, you know, like I said in the other video, my little one, again, he started nursery this week. Or was it last week? I missed out on that moment, and unfortunately, hopefully, I think all those resident parents need to understand that you're denying your children, you are denying your child something because of your own hatred.
Thanks very much for watching. If you want to learn more about Daniel Picave Counselling, watch that video. If you want to learn more about McKenzie Picave Family Law, watch that video. And remember to subscribe, because 68% of you haven't. See you next time.